Because reading is what?
Fundamental.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Do You Read BTS? I'm Lisa.
And I'm Dila. Welcome back, guys. So this week we did a very popular story
Yes.
called Mutual Help. It is by Persona Intro. Oh, Persona's Intro. There we go. On Wattpad and Tumblr, right?
Yeah, and I think it's on Tumblr, AO3. I think it's on all the platforms.
Nice. So we did that story, and yeah, we're just gonna get right into it.
When I tell y'all this story had me so emotional.
Man.
It had me such in my feelings. And this story was not even supposed to be read. We were not even going to do this story. I read this story on my own time and begged Delazay to
Right.
read it so we can review it because it's just too darn good.
Yeah, it is so good, and I'm very glad that end up reading it because I like it so much. Like, there was just so much detail, and the story was good. Like, there's just a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Right. So in the beginning of the story, it's this girl. Y'all know she don't got her name, so she is the girl. And she gets a call from Jimin. And Jimin tells her, "Hey, girl, come over here to JK house. He going through something. Come over here." And she like, "What? What's going on?" Because her and JK are very close. They have a really good friendship. However, they have not been as close since JK kind of been doing his thing with his girlfriend.
Mhm.
So Jimmy says, "Hey, come over here. JK going through something. We really need you over here as well." So she rushes to JK house. JK is in this like funk. He really don't want to really talk to nobody. He don't really want to be bothered. But they kind of, I don't know. They broke up. I don't know how they know they broke up. Jimmy knew they broke up, and that's how
Mhm.
she knew they broke up. So, as because they're so close, it's Tay, Jimin, and the girl and JK. They always been friends for a long time. They're super close.
Mhm.
And so whenever one of them goes through something, they like are very close and are there for each other. So during those days that he was going through that bad breakup because he didn't know why his girlfriend broke up with him. She just told him that she wanted to see different people. So because they were so in love, JK knew it was something else. And he was like, "That can't be the reason. We just had sex a couple days ago. Like, why did she break up with me? We so in love with each other. I was about to ask her to move in, all this stuff." And they were just there for him. So they would just like bring him food every day. They would check on him every day, make sure he was good. Like they would like run baths for each other, like stuff like
Mhm.
that. They were super close.
They were best
And
friends, but like, so I feel like the way that it's described, like JK and the girl are like super, like they're best friends, and then
yeah.
Jimin and Tay are also like good friends of theirs, but they're not as close
Hmm.
as the girl and JK are.
Right. So like they all close in their own different ways.
Right.
But I thought that I don't know where I got this from, but I thought that her and JK grew up around each other.
That's what
But
it
then
sounded like, but then it didn't.
it didn't, right? Because then it
Yeah,
sounded like almost like she moved there.
right. It sounded like,
Like she was a foreigner.
yeah, because it sounded like at a point um, like when they got close, they were still young-ish, but they weren't like
Hmm.
babies. Like they were kids because didn't they go to school together or something like that?
It really does not specify whether they were in school together, whether they were in college together. Like it doesn't really specify. That just was close.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So as the girl comes over to the house with her to check on him, bring him food, make sure he good, like they do every day. JK is like, you don't have to like bring me food every day. Like I can take care of myself. Like you and Tay and Jimmy do not have to come over here every day. And they was like, but we are, so shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're going to anyway, so you might as well be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, he just started talking to her. He was like, I just don't know why she broke up with me. She just said, she wanted to see other people, but I know that's not it. We love each other so much. And then she was like, you still love her? He was like, yeah, I still love her. And I don't know. And by this time, it's been a couple of weeks
Mm-hmm.
since they broke up. So he was like, I just don't know why she broke up with me, but I gotta find out or whatever. And he was like, asking her, will you do me a favor? And she was like, what? And he was like, pretend to be my girlfriend so that she could want me back.
Mm-hmm.
And when I read that, y'all, I was like, that sounds so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the story, the girl said, that is so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, that's very childish and stupid. He's like, I know it sounds stupid, I know it sounds childish, but I think it might work. So she was like, well, okay, well, I'll help you do whatever you need to do. I'm your best friend. I'm gonna help you. And then she was like, but you gotta help me. And so what her story is that she was with this guy, but not very experienced. Like they didn't do a lot of sexual things. So she didn't know a lot about sexual things. So she was like, if you help me do that, then I'll help you do. Or one of them came up with the idea. I think it was him that said, okay, well, I'll help you do that if you help me do this.
Would you be able to do that with your best friend if this was like if your best friend was male and they were like, let's do this, would you be like okay with that?
No.
Me either.
Heck no, girl. I get on my feelings way too fast for that. No.
Same.
Mm-mm. Even though
Same.
that sex was good. Even though
Girl.
that sex was good.
Girl, the how oof, the way that it was written, girl.
The way it was written.
I was listening to it. I was listening to it like on the way to work, coming home from work, at work, stuff like that. But in the car, you have it on Bluetooth. So it's just playing in the car and it'd be them smut scenes. And I'm just sitting there like, if anybody is hearing, because in the car it don't be as loud. So you got to turn it all the way up to like 40,
Yeah.
I'm like, if anybody, and I have my windows open sometimes, I know that people's looking at me like, what in the world? Because it'd be like, and he did this to her pussy. I'm like, damn, did he do that to her pussy? Like, what else he do?
Right. And the way he was so vocal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. The way this story where it smut was just amazing. It was so good. It really was good.
Yeah, they definitely did a great job on writing that smut.
They did. Had to take some pointers.
Okay.
So anyway, no, I would not be able to do that.
Yeah, me either.
And I don't know how. Okay. Anyway, so they just came up with, okay, they just friends. They'll be able to do it or whatever. So I don't know if it was that night or some other night they decided to go to a club. Now, what y'all don't know is Tay and Jimmy are like, they active. They like all these different women. They like to screw different women. They like to have fun. They love to party. They like party boys. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They usually June, Lord. JK and the girl usually just be going for them. They don't be going just to be hanging out like that.
Mm-hmm.
They go for them most of the time. So they end up going to this club and they knew that they might see Kiko.
Mm-hmm.
Kiko, that's her name. And which would have been perfect for them because he wanted her to see them. See him. So, but one thing is that they couldn't even tell Jimmy and Tay that they were pretending to be boyfriend and girlfriend. They had to make it seem real.
Mm-hmm.
But girl, sometimes real goes wrong, okay?
Oh.
Because they got real.
They did. They started doing all types of stuff. You'd be like, wait, y'all are not in public right now. So y'all in a relationship and don't even know it.
Exactly. Super duper close.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they go to this club. They're having a good time. They start to drink. And he's like, come on, let's go dance. So they go dance on the dance floor. They grinding on each other. Now they just now came up with this agreement and they already
On it.
grinding and yes.
That's how I know they both been feeling some things for each other because they was like, all right, let's. I just needed to hear the word so we could be all up on each other and not be weird.
Right, right. So, but according to the story, they didn't look at each other like that until now.
Yeah, but it just seems so quick on how they were like they never looked at each other like that because it is brought up where like they said they would never date one another. They were just really really close. But then like
Hmm.
as soon as it was spoken that hey we're gonna do this, they was like right on each other
They was on it like
immediately.
that.
Like it was
Yes.
like they just needed somebody to be like yes I'm down, yes I'm down. Okay cool we gonna do this, and then that was
Right.
that.
Right. And they always had this weird relationship anyway. To everybody, to them it wasn't weird. They were super duper duper close. To them, it was like normal. To everybody else around them, they was like, y'all sure y'all friends? Y'all sure y'all? And then they would tell all their friends, we just friends. We would never talk to each other. We would never go with each other. We would never have sex. But they were so close that people thought that they did because they was just that close.
Yeah, and it's when she says everybody thought it was weird, she literally means everybody.
Everybody.
Even Tay and Jim and they thought it was like it was different. But
Yeah, it
everybody
was a
just
different
talked
type of
yeah,
closeness.
everybody just chalked it up to them being cool. And I'm like, "Y'all,
Yeah.
okay. Y'all just don't want
Yeah.
to acknowledge the fact that they in love with each other?"
Right. So anyway, so they go to the club, they're grinding on each other. She getting all flustered, he getting all flustered, the drinks are flowing. And then he looks over, he sees her looking at them, which is Kiko. Kiko is now looking at them. She looking at them like, oh my God, are they together? Like I know they best friends, but so, they get finished dancing. He's like, I'm gonna go to the bar and get some drinks. She go back and sit down. He goes to the bar, gets the drinks. Kiko come up to him and she's like, hey, how you doing? Acting like ain't nothing happened. Acting like she ain't never broke up with him.
Right.
Yeah, I got a whole attitude with her. Anyway, so she come up because the reason I have an attitude with her is because she just super duper sweet.
Mhm.
And she's super duper sweet, but I can't explain it.
She's like kind of she's sweet, but it almost seems like I don't want to say
Messy
like a
sweet.
front, but it's like she's sweet, but
Like
she's like low key, like a little bit
messy.
of a yeah. She messy, but she's like really nice. But she's
Yeah.
yeah,
She like messy in a nice way.
yeah. Like it, yeah. Like she's sneaky. I think that's kind of how I felt. Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Sneaky.
mm-hmm.
So she goes to him and she's like, hey, how you doing? How are you? He's like, hey, I'm good. And she was like, oh, you you with the girl now? And he's like, yeah, we together. She was like, but I thought y'all was best friends and y'all would never like talk to each other like that. Cause that's what they tell everybody. They would
Mm-hmm.
never talk to each other like that. And he was like, yeah, well, we thought we would try it. So she was like, well, that's good. I'm just happy that you're happy. He was like, are you happy? She's like, yeah, or whatever. But he could tell that she just was not happy.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they kind of went their own ways. He went back drinking with old girl. The girl sees him talking to Kiko, and now she feels a ping in her heart.
The ping, huh? The ping.
She has a ping in her heart, and she do not know
Don't know why,
why.
girl. Every time I saw
So,
something about a ping or a pain or a hurt, and I'm like, huh, okay.
oh yeah, girl, you know why.
Right.
Anyway, so she feels this ping in her heart, but she's like, oh, it's nothing. So he comes back to her, he got his arms wrapped around her, tightened and is like, are y'all really together? Like, cause y'all kissing and going on. Are y'all for real? And they was like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. Had to tell them the same thing. We just want to try it. And as night go by, they just getting drunker, having a good time, and then go ahead, D.
So they having a good time, and then it comes time for them to go.
Mm-hmm.
And so okay, so everybody had their own spot or whatever, but on occasion they would have little sleepovers and whatnot. And is this the first time they have sex? Is that
They didn't have sex.
well, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They so they were experimenting with some things
Uh-huh.
because she wanted to see because she like Lisa was saying in the beginning she wanted to blah, 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 she wanted to get more experience in just sexual things altogether. So they were trying out, what did he like, finger her or something like that,
Yeah, he ate her out
and he
too.
ate her out. Yeah, so they were experimenting with that, and she was just like, "Oh my gosh, what is this that's going on?" Like, so okay, so homegirl, we kind of forgot to mention this. Homegirl was dating this dude named so the way that it's pronounced on the story, if you listen to
Hello?
the, it's well, no, that's the second man she ended up dating, but the first dude was it's they say it Heekin, but it's actually I think like Haitian or something like that.
Oh.
But that was the first dude that she had dated before, and they had broken up, and it
Mhm.
wasn't nothing like tragic or nothing like that. It was just like, nah, we just don't want to be together. But it was stuff that they had not done with each other before.
Mhm.
So they were,
I think they lost their virginity to each other.
yeah. So they were both just trying to figure it out for real. So when it came to JK, who was more experienced, they were trying some stuff, but they were kind of like taking it slow. So excuse me, they he fingers her and he eats her out or whatever. She's like, okay, this is cool, like this is what we're gonna do, all right, bet.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like I'm gonna miss a lot.
So when they were doing that, she got finished, and he was like, "Okay, I'm glad you got to feel what that's like because you never got to experience that before." And
Mm-hmm.
then she was salivating. Is how it's written. Is
Right.
she was salivating because she wanted to suck his dick.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Well, you don't have to. This is not even about me." And
Right.
she was like, "But I want to suck your dick."
Right.
Like he was like, "But why?" She was like,
Because I
"Cause I
want
want
to.
to."
Right. I want to.
Yeah, and so he was a little confused because he was like, "This ain't about me," but and she was like, "So you don't want me to?" And he was like, "Yeah, I want to. I want you to." And so he let her. And so the next day when they woke up, um, she was like, "Oh, did I really do that last night? Like, it was great and all, but I can't believe I did this, and it feel weird. So let me try to get up and try to creep out right quick." And he was like, I know you really ain't trying to creep out right
Right. Like you don't have to do
now. Like,
that.
yeah, like you ain't gotta do all that. Like that's unnecessary.
Hmm. Honestly, the way that they operate is really kind of perfect. Like, I know that they
Uh-huh.
friends and stuff like that, but like just how it was like a no big deal thing. It wasn't weird. Like it was like we can just do this and it not have to be weird.
Uh-huh.
And I like that. I like that a lot, especially as it
Me
got later
too.
in like later in their time and more stuff started happening. I was like, all
Uh-huh.
right. And the fact that, but he was okay. I'm going too far ahead. Cause like I'm just there was the beginning part of the story. I remember a lot of it, but I don't. And like I feel like
Uh-huh.
when I start to really really remember is when they go on that trip.
Okay, so let's get there.
Okay.
so, so the I guess she did they both have to go to work the next day?
Mhm. Oh, which so this is the only thing though. So JK was a photographer. He did like weddings. He did like whatever type of event he did. He did photography for it.
Hmm.
But I don't remember, where did the girl work?
She worked at like a model agency, but she
Okay.
did like background stuff.
Okay. And she worked with Yoongi, who he is messy and mean in this story.
Messy.
Girl.
It's like the last couple of stories we read where you
Yeah. Exactly. That's
messy.
exactly what I thought of. Cause I was like, dang, this is another messy ass Yoongi. Like,
Yes, but I loved him though. I loved him low key. I want to see what he's about the rest of the way. But anyway, so the next I want to say that he was like, I could take you to work.
yeah.
And she was like, "No, I got a car. I could just, even though her car was crappy, she was like, I can just drive myself through it." He was like, "Nah, I got you. Don't even worry about it." He was like, "I'm gonna take you home, let you get dressed or whatever, and then I'll just take you to work." So he does that. He take her to work or whatever. He was like, "I'll just come back and pick you up from work, because I dropped you off here." So, she go on by her day. She works. She get off of work, and she's like walking out. She's walking out with Missy Yugi that
Mm-hmm.
she don't even get along with at
They
all, but they always together because they work together all the time.
and they always arguing.
Always arguing. They got like a brother sister relationship almost,
Yeah, kinda.
kind of until later on. But anyway,
Right, we'll get there.
we'll get there. But anyway, so they're coming out, and then like JK sees her. When he see her, he automatically just smiles up at her. Like I picture, okay, y'all know I like the picture stuff. So I pictured them coming down the steps of the building and him in the parking lot waiting,
Mhm.
sitting with looking all good with his hair pushed back in that ponytail.
Mhm. On the hood of the car.
Yes,
Mhm.
girl.
Me too.
Like I had that in my head.
Me too.
So he sees her, he smiles at her, she smiled back at him, which is weird. And then he like gets her, grabs her, and just like kiss her. Like it ain't nothing.
Right.
And she looking at him like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, "Well, you pretended to be my girlfriend, so I'm pretending to be your boyfriend. So that's why I'm
Mhm.
kissing you." And she's like, "Well, you don't have to do this here." And he was like, "But you don't know who gonna know Kiko. You don't know who gonna know Jose, Hobie, or whatever. So we need to pretend like everybody need to think that we together."
So, real quick, Kiko and Hobie are best friends.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Because they all friends, but they have different circles. Like
Mhm.
Jen and Hobie are in their own friend circle with Kiko and all their friends. Tay and Jen Tay and Jimin and the girl and JK are friends in their own friend circle. And then Namjoon comes in because he knows Jen, and then that's how they all are kind of friends, just because their friend circle kind of in a meant with each other,
Mhm. Mhm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then Missy Yugi is her work friend.
Mhm.
So anyway, what was that? So he kisses her, they basically talk about, we just gonna everybody gonna think we together, whatever. Yugi looking at her like, mm-hmm.
Right.
And then go ahead, dude.
So they leave or whatever, but the next day stuff happens, but I just want to get to this part. So the next day when she go to work and he her and Yoongi are having a conversation, he gonna say something about your boyfriend, and she like, "That's not my boyfriend, that's my best friend." And he like, "Yeah, okay."
So
Like,
yeah, foot buddies, right?
right. So yeah, he just be kissing you like that, but that's your best friend. All right, bet. And then she was like, "Well, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Yeah, y'all just say what it is. Like, y'all can say y'all friends with benefits.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. It's not a big deal."
Right.
But he always want to be like, I'm not trying to be in your business, but he be in the business all the time,
All in the business, girl. All in the business.
every single time. Um.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so they have that conversation and he's like, "Yeah, whatever you say." So it gets to be a point where they go out. What's it with? I think they go out somewhere. I think they're with Tay and Jimin, and JK's like, I think they went to eat or something like that. And he goes to like touch on her or something like that, and she kind of like winces a little bit, but she's trying to remember like, "Oh, I gotta act like we're boyfriend and girlfriend because that's what we supposed to be doing." So in her head she's like, "I can't be acting like that because this is what's supposed to be going on." But she still get uncomfortable with certain things because he just jumped right in. I feel like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like JK been really waiting for this opportunity, and he just needed her to agree with
Girl,
it.
thank you.
he really
Thank
he
you.
really just needed her to be down because he was just so gung ho to be doing all this stuff so fast.
Right, right.
And then,
And,
oh, go ahead.
no, I was just getting ready to say, and he just like, it wasn't nothing to him.
Yeah. And then when she was like looking like, "Hey, we don't have to do this all the time," or we're not in front of people, because it got to a point where they were starting to do stuff with each other, whether there's people there or not. So they would be like
Right.
holding hands or kissing and stuff like that, but they'd just be at the crib chilling.
Right, like not even noticing that they doing it, just like living
Yeah,
everyday life,
like they together.
like a whole couple.
Girl, yeah.
So go ahead, they're at dinner.
Okay, so they're at dinner, and she's like trying to act as normal as she can, because she's trying to remember that. And they're like, so y'all are like for real together? And they're like, yeah, yep, we are. And so then they're getting questioned a ton by them, and they're like, yeah, no, this is what it is, blah 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 blah. And so they're suspicious at first, but then they kind of like let it ride out, because they're like, well, this is what they said, so we're just gonna believe them. That's gonna
Well,
be that.
they let it ride out because, honey, they are now really acting very close.
Yeah, because at this point, I think they were like kissing at the not like making out or nothing like that, but they like did like cutesy stuff.
No, but they made out at that club the first night. That's
No, but
how they
I'm
kind of.
yeah, but I'm saying like when they was out to eat or whatever, like they was just really like being real like cutesy with
Yeah.
each other.
Hmm.
So so they're like, okay, cool, this is what it is or whatever. Well, now it's like coming to the time where there's this big trip is that okay if I jump to that, or is that too far?
Yeah, but you missed the Hobie part.
Oh, wait, Hobie seen them out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So they were out, and then Hobie seen the girl, because this reminded me of the other story. Because remember Hobie seen the girl. You remember? She seen the
Uh-huh.
he. So okay. So Hobie
Yep, I thought
seen.
about the same thing.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I got a little bit confused. I'm like, am I mixing up the stories? But anyway, Hobie see them out, and they're all like, but they're all cuddled up and cute or whatever, and he looking like, that's weird. And so he also hears like, yeah, they're together or whatever. But the whole time, Hobie is suspicious. He looking at JK a certain way. He looking at the girl a certain way, and he is like, when they interact, Hobie is mean to this girl. Like, I don't want to say
Yeah.
mean, but I mean he was mean, but he was just real like,
But he eyeing her just like just like the girl was eyeing Kiko.
right, because
Because
that's
that's his best friend and
right,
she his best friend. So he looking at her like, how y'all together? But first of all, they just broke up. Now y'all all together and y'all used to be best friends. So have y'all been doing this?
right.
That's how he was looking at it. So I think they at that point, was just talking about
Oh, the trip.
the trip,
So the
the
camping.
not
No, they
the
went
camping
camping.
trip.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they were planning this big old camping trip, which actually sounded like it was a ton of fun, because
Right.
it was JK, Jimin, Tay, the girl, Namjoon, Jin, no, Jin didn't go on that one. Kiko, and like some two random girls, and there was some
Hmm.
Hobie. Was Hobie there? No. Yeah, Hobie was Hobie on that trip?
Yeah, everybody was on that trip.
The only one that wasn't was Jin. Because Jin oh, I forgot about the wedding, girl.
Was Jen? No, this was before the wedding.
I thought the trip
The
was.
camping,
I
the
thought the.
camping trip.
I
Yeah,
thought.
but they.
No, because the camping
What?
trip. I thought the camping trip happened after the wedding, because the reason that Jin didn't go was because he was on his honeymoon. Because Jin wasn't on the camping trip. Jin was at the trip for the later in the story trip.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
Okay, so. Okay, sorry y'all, there's a part of the story where they are all getting ready to go to this wedding, and JK and the girl are going together, and so all of the friends are going to be there. So Jin is getting married to, I think her name's Gia, which is another
Hmm.
story where the girl's name is Gia. There's like a Gia, Jaya, Jayla. There's like, those are the names that get recycled in these stories.
Uh-huh.
So they go to this wedding. It's real nice, because the girl, like, she's friends with Jin, but she's not
Jen's
close
no,
like that.
she's Jen's fiance, now wife, best friend.
No, Kiko is not the girl.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what I was
yeah,
talking about,
yeah, yeah,
Kiko.
yeah. So yeah, and then so the girl goes to the wedding. Everything's beautiful. It's nice or whatever, whatever. Okay, so the camping trip later, everybody was there except Jin, because Jin was on his honeymoon.
Hmm.
So this camping trip, they find out Kiko's gonna be there, and they're like, crap. The girl's like, I don't even like this girl. I can't believe she did this to you. Homegirl was there for her friend. Like, she was
Yeah,
like,
she
you don't like
was.
her, I don't like her either. Like,
Right. You don't like her. I don't like her a lot more.
right. She did you wrong. How you gonna deal with something like that? How do you want to even be back with
Right. He was
somebody?
like, I forgive her, but I still hate her.
Right. He like, I want to be back with her. She like, why? I don't understand. So anyway, that whole thing happened. So the tents and stuff are getting like divvied up. Who's gonna stay where? All this other stuff. They ended up writing down with Tay and Jimin and the two girls who.
What? No, Jimmy drove his own car with somebody else, and he didn't have enough room. So the two girls and Tay had to ride in a car with JK
Oh,
and the
and the
girl.
girl, that's right. So
Hmm.
they all get there and everything's cool, but then that's when Kiko and Hobie and stuff show up. But the girls, the two random girls that were there, were friends
With Kiko.
of Kiko. It was weird, like how people. Anyway, everybody knew each other in some way or
Yeah,
another.
everybody was friends in
Yeah,
some type of way, but she didn't know them girls.
the girl didn't know the girls, but Kiko did. So
Hmm.
so they have this trip or whatever, and JK and the girl are real extra laying it on thick because they're like,
Hmm.
we need it. We're gonna stick with this plan or whatever. Well, they end up having sex in the tent. And at a point, they go on a hiking. Homegirl gets close with Namjoon a little bit. They talk or whatever. But Kiko, while they're hiking, she ends up like falling and hurting herself. So,
Of course she
of
did.
course,
Of course she did.
right?
I could just see her little petite self. Because in my mind, she petite and
Yeah.
small. So, oh,
Oh yeah,
like,
right, exactly. Oh, I hurt myself.
girl,
Oh,
bye.
yeah, and
Because I picture Kiko like really pretty but small and petite.
me too.
And I picture the girl really beautiful but voluptuous and thick.
Yeah, because it sounded like she was like a curvy girl, and I loved
Yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So, so yeah, so she hurts herself, and JK's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take her back. I need to make sure she's good." So the girl feels some type of way about the whole thing because he pretty much just bounces and goes to like tend to her, but she understands that his whole point of all this is to get back with Kiko, but it
Right.
still
So she couldn't be
bothers
that
her.
bad.
Yeah, she couldn't be
Mm-hmm.
that mad, but it still bothers her.
Right.
So, he goes to take her. I think, does Hobie go back with her too?
June goes back.
Namjoon. So they go back to take care of her or whatever. And then there's a point where Kiko and JK end up having a conversation. So
Mm-hmm.
Kiko and JK have a conversation, and he's like, "I want to know like what's up," because at this point, JK don't even know the real reason. Well, he don't know the reason why she broke up with him. So he's
Mm-hmm.
like, I just want to know like what for real happened because you didn't give me no explanation or nothing and you just left it at that. So she's like, well, I just got to let you know that I cheated on you. And so he's like, what? So then he really gets in his feelings about that and he feels some type of way and he's extra hurt and like pretty much bummed for the
Mad.
entire rest of the trip.
No, he was mad. He was mad after he heard that, and she didn't even say it. What happened was he was saying, "What did you do? Did you cheat on me?" And that's
That's
the first
right.
thing she heard, and she ran with it.
Yeah, she ran with it.
And so, and then she was like, "But I knew you weren't gonna be back with me once you heard that." And he was like, "Well, how you know? How you gonna make a decision for me? You
Right.
don't know
He
what I
wanted
was
her
gonna do."
bad. He wanted
He
her
wanted her.
bad.
He was in love with Kiko. Like they
Mhm.
really were in love with each other.
Mhm.
So then when he goes back after because he mad at this point, he goes back to get the girl. The girl sitting there talking to Namjoon like man, and he see them, now he all mad, pissed off,
Right.
cause she with him,
Right.
right? So she laughing. The girl is just like to her, it's like funny because why you mad? So she go to the camp. I mean, go in like they tent and is like, what's going on? What's wrong? Did you get to talk to Kiko? Because she knew he left talking to her,
Right.
and he was like, Don't talk to me. I came back with my girlfriend talking to one of my friends.
Which
You supposed
the
to be here
nerve,
for me.
the nerve.
Yeah. He was like, how you think that make me look? And she busted out laughing. She said, are you serious right now? Because how you think that made me look that you was in the woods with that girl?
Right, you was there with your ex and you sitting there talking. I don't even know this man like that. I'm getting to know him. You really about to be upset about that? Like you really
Exactly.
about to do this right now? Like you bugging, bro.
Right. So she ended up just was like, I'll talk to you when you calm down. So then, now go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you good. So yeah, so she like, you gotta chill or whatever. So then but then she's realizing like he upset, but this ain't got nothing to do with me. So what really happened, bro? So he gonna tell
Mm.
her, well, Kiko cheated on me. And that is all she needed to hear.
Girl, she was mad then, was she?
She was so upset. She was so upset. And she would not let him forget it.
Because she kept saying it.
Kept saying it, kept bringing that mess up because, she was cheating on you, because cheating this, cheating that, da, 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 da. And I'm just like, girl, okay, we get it. She cheated, whatever. Okay, it's fine.
Even he was like, okay, dang.
Right. Like, I still want her back. Leave me alone. Like, we could talk about it. She's like, okay. But, so yeah, he's like super upset about it still. So they end up not like the rest of the trip don't really go as planned because that's the second. And I just thought about the both of the trips had mess, but
But the second trip was my favorite. I ain't gonna lie.
man, that second mess was crazy. Their trips just sounded like they were so much fun.
I know, right? Even when they went home with his parents.
Yeah, like every time they went
First of all, it's
somewhere.
because they was fun together. They was the best couple.
Yeah, they really was. For real. So they end up getting, I'm just gonna fast forward them to leaving and all that. So they leave, he's really upset about the whole finding out that she cheated on him or whatever like that. And he told her, he's like, I don't want to know details. I don't want to know none of that. Like, I just want to leave it at that because I just don't need to hear nothing else about it. So that was kind of that.
He had already told her that he didn't know if they were going to be like, he still wanted to be with her.
Mm-hmm. So they had set up a plan to meet. Him and Kiko decided to meet up to see what, or is that too far? I think that might be too far.
You scared. Oh,
yeah, I went way too far. My bad.
Okay.
No, go ahead, because I skipped way too far.
What happened after they left that camping trip? I think after they left the camping trip, it was just kind of like work back and forth, and then her apartment, water messed up at her apartment.
Mm-hmm.
She had to end up moving in with JK for a while. And when they moved in with each other, when I tell y'all, it got very domestic.
Got very domestic. I was like, so y'all married now?
Like, for real, because that's how they was acting. Like, they were married. He was picking her up all the time from work. He was texting her all the time while she was at work. They were always laughing and joking with each other. They still slept in the same bed every night.
Mm-hmm.
They freaked all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He was going to buy her tampons and pads.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a lot going on.
It was a lot going on.
So, I was trying to think. What happened after that? Did they go to? I was trying to think. Did they go to Busan after that or not?
They do, cause this is around like this is a couple of months in the story, cause they went for Christmas. Yeah, they went for Christmas. So they end up going to Busan, where JK's family is at, and he ends up taking the girl with him. But JK's family knows about Kiko, but they don't know that they broke up.
Right.
So when he gets out there, it's nice and whatever, and they've met the girl before, and it's cool. But the mom eventually asks him about Kiko, and he's like, "Oh well, we broke up," but he don't say nothing else about it, and the girl don't say nothing else about it either, because he didn't want his parents to have a bad image of the girl. Which, anyway. I just
she didn't have feelings about this girl.
This girl made me so mad. Kiko made me so mad this entire story.
She made me mad too, even though she was super sweet.
She was so nice, but she was sneaky, and I didn't like it. Like, but
she was just stupidly sneaky, though. That's the thing. It's stupid.
Yeah, and I just feel like, anyway. well, no, I'm gonna say it. I just feel like all of it would have taken was a conversation to happen to find out exactly how this man felt, but she just kept going off of what she thought would happen without even talking to this man. So nothing ever really, like, she never really found out how he was gonna feel about it until it was too late. And now she's trying to play catch up, but it's so much damage has already been done.
Emotional damage.
Right.
And not only to mention that everything you saying is right because that's all she had to do was
That
talk
was
to the man.
it.
That's how he felt the whole time.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead, girl. That was in Busan.
They was in Busan and me with the family and all that good stuff, and everything was cool. And then JK's brother, see, this is how I think they did know each other for when they were at least younger, because she used to have a crush on his older brother.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so maybe they didn't know each other from like birth, but they were fairly young.
Uh-huh.
So she had a crush on his brother at a point, but his brother is like grown and got married with kids and all that stuff now.
Well, that brother do look good.
I bet.
He do.
So
You ain't never seen him?
No.
You never seen JK real brother?
I didn't know he had a brother.
What?
I thought that was. Oh, I'm tripping. I did know he had a brother. I am tripping.
Yeah.
I'm definitely tripping. My bad. I
and his brother look good because he look like him.
His whole family is fine.
Girl, his daddy.
His daddy fine. His mom's pretty. Like, yeah.
Real.
Fine. They genes just doing their thing.
Girl, totally is.
But yeah, so they end up going to the brother's house and playing with the kids and stuff like that. And she's like, "Oh, he's so cute with the kids," blah, 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 all this other stuff. And then they go meet up with the family again one more time before, like the parents again before they head back to Seoul, because that's where they live at. They live in Seoul. So the trip is really nice. You know, not too many more questions are asked about the whole thing. They don't know that JK and the girl are together or pretending to be together. They just know that they're best friends. So that wasn't even like a question. That's why Kiko even came up in the first place, because they know that the girl is the best friend. So they get back from Busan and everything's nice or whatever. And I think I'm still about to skip a bunch.
What?
I was about to talk about them meeting up to Kiko and JK meeting up, but that's after.
But not too much stuff going on in between there other than
That's
them
true.
working.
Yeah, so they work a lot. There's a party that happens where with the girls' company, and JK ends up being hired to be the photographer, but that's not really. I mean, it's important to know, but it's not really important.
It's
to know
not
like
relevant.
that.
It will teach you a little bit about Yugi, how he acts, some guy that like her that she don't like. Okay, so let's say this. Let me just put this out real quick. So they have a party at their work. The boss loves JK. I think he likes JK because the boss really loves JK, but he ain't nice to nobody else. Are you here? Can you hear me? Oh, he mean to everybody else, but he really loves JK. So he invites JK. They're at this party. This other guy wants to talk to her, and she ain't feeling him. She don't really want to talk to him like that. So she tells him, like, he tried to talk to her, and then she tells JK that he tried to talk to her, but she don't really want to talk to him.
No. You're going too far.
Is that a whole other part?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
So
skip that.
Then. Yeah. That's the second dude. Okay. So there's a point in time where I mean, we kind of mentioned it, but girl's car is trash, right? So she ends up having a lot of issues, but she doesn't have the money to get a new car, but she's like, all right, I'm gonna get me a second job. So Yoongi and her have a conversation at some point, and he's like, I got a brother that owns this club or bar or something like that you can work at, alongside of what this currently is. So she's like, bet. So she starts working at this job. Well, there's this dude that comes in and is like kind of flirting with her and nice to her, gets her a drink or whatever, but he ends up looking for her another time, and Yoongi ends up letting her know of that. So this dude's name is Hanyul, I think his
Uh-huh.
name is, and he interested in her or whatever. Oh wait, I think that's too far. That is too far.
It's almost the same time as him having the conversation
With
with Kiko.
Kiko. Okay. So Hanyul's interested in the girl and he wants to take her out or whatever. She agrees. So they do that. In the meantime, while this is happening, JK ends up having a conversation with Kiko because they want to see if they can make it work or whatever. Well, JK still wants to try to make things work. So this is after the camping trip, and he find out that she cheated or whatever. So they have this conversation. They go to dinner. They have like a date, and they end up talking about like what they want to do and all this other stuff. Long story short, they end up deciding to get back together. So now Kiko and JK are back together, and the girl and Hanul are dating one another. They're
Uh-huh.
also boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah,
So
but between that time, it was a little bit of time before she even got with Hana, because
correct.
she spent a lot of time sex deprived.
Sex deprived, poor thing.
Because
Because
once he got back with Kiko, he was not cheating on Kiko.
right,
So he
and
just
Hanul was a virgin.
right. So once at this point where her and him and Kiko are together, her water is fixed. She's moved back to her own house, which he was so sad about.
So sad about, but he don't know why.
But he don't know why. So they spent that little bit of time. She's with Hano, he's back with Kiko, but they kind of still hang out because he promised her this time around that he would not like leave her hanging like he did the last time. So in between, they still hang out and do their thing, but she still don't like that girl.
Don't like her at all, and has nothing, and makes a point to give her a hard time every chance she get.
Every chance she gets, and
So
no matter how nice she is to her, because she be trying to be nice.
she do, but she should. I don't know. She should know better than that. But it is what it, because she know her best friend.
Right.
Because Hopi was giving the girl a hard time. So it's like,
Yeah.
but so there comes a point where um, dang, I forgot what I was gonna say.
But they
Um,
get ready to go on this trip.
no, I was gonna say something before
Oh.
all that. Dang, it was important too. Oh, so the girl, and so once JK's like, okay, I'm going to get Kiko back. The girl is like, hey, maybe we should stop having sex. Maybe we should just
Yeah.
let this die because you're going to be trying to get her back. Like, there's no point because you're going to end up getting what you wanted from Jump. And he's like, yeah, but like, did you get what you wanted? And she like, it's fine. Like, it don't even matter about all that. You about to do with her. So let's just call
Yeah,
this what it
like
is. And then they were
I was
cool.
so confused of why he even asked her that,
Me
as if he
too,
was gonna stop and not talk to Kiko to let her finish.
girl. Cause you think about it, if she was like, yeah, no, I still didn't get what I needed out of it, he wouldn't have been able to date Kiko.
Right.
So they end up stopping. So then they start telling people that they broke up, right? But homegirl is at we did mess up this order, but it's fine. So homegirl is at JK's house after they break up, and JK ends up going out with Tay and Jimin and Hobie, and he gets wasted. And he's
Hmm.
like upset about some stuff or whatever. And he's like, oh, he lets them know, like, yeah, we broke up. So, but she's at the house. So they're like, what? So he's upset about something. I don't remember what he was upset about.
This was way before, because this is when he found out that Kiko cheated on him. So he went out to that club that night and was talking about how Oh, wait. Yeah, wasn't that it? When he told them that Kiko cheated on him and he got sloppy drunk and she had to come pick him back up.
Is that why he got sloppy drunk?
Yeah, that's after he found out that she cheated on him.
But Hobie because Hobie wasn't about to say nothing. So yeah, you're
Yeah,
probably right.
yeah, and see, he got drunk, and it was her last night staying in his place
That's right.
because
That's
she was
right.
getting ready to go move back to her place,
So this is
and
before. Sorry, this is before he started dating Kiko and she started dating
yes,
Hanyo.
this is right after he found out the truth. Well, not the truth, but what he
Right.
thought was the truth, that she cheated on him.
Mhm.
And so that's when he was all mad and all that stuff. He wasn't even all that mad. It was just he got emotional after he got drunk.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he got drunk, and then he told all his friends what was happening or whatever. He was eyeing Hobie because he knew Hobie knew, and then he got drunk and he just wanted the girl to come and get him.
Mhm. So she does. She ends up getting him, and they thought it was so weird because he had already said that they had broken up. So he was like, why would
Hmm.
she want to be? But that she was like, yeah, it's fine. Like we're cool. It's not a big deal. And then later on, they start dating. He starts dating Kiko. She starts dating oh boy. So
Hmm.
that happens. All right. So now we're gonna flash forward to the Christmas New Year's Eve trip, or is that too far?
No, this is when they was going to the cabin for, like you said, Christmas. Was it Christmas or New Year's Eve? I think it was
It
just New
was
Year's, right?
well, no, it was a combination because they like real
No,
close
it wasn't
together.
because he went that time. He went back home. He went back home to Busan to do Christmas for his family, and he went by himself.
Oh, that's right.
And
She went with her
and
family.
Kiko went with her family.
But then they just exchanged Christmas gifts at that
They
cabin.
yes,
Okay.
yes, and they had more gifts for each other than they thought. Remember?
Yeah, yeah, cause like everybody exchanged gifts, cause Tay and them exchanged gifts, like everybody did at
Yeah.
that cabin.
Like as soon as they seen each other, all four of them got together and was exchanging gifts because they hadn't seen each other.
Right. So they stayed at this cabin that Jen's family owned. It was like this. It sounded like a resort to me, cause there was
Baby,
like
this was a huge cabin.
yeah, it was ginormous. It had a gym. It had all
Yeah.
types of stuff in there. So yeah, so they have their room or whatever. So okay, so on this trip, Kiko and JK are together. The girl and Hanul are together, and she invites him to come on this trip with her. Mind you,
Hmm.
everybody knows that JK and the girl dated and broke up, but Hanul doesn't know that.
Right.
Which we'll get there because this whole
Okay, let me get into it. Let me talk to
yeah
it. Let
this
me talk about it. So they get on this trip, they exchange gifts, and she is already looking at her like, I don't like Kiko. And that's what it is. JK talked to her like, listen, I know you don't like her, but please just respect her. Respect me and respect her. Okay? She's
mhm
like, I can respect her, but I don't like her. And that's just what it is. You cannot make me like her.
mhm
And so, as time go by, like little stuff start happening. They be playing games and just having a good time,
getting drunk.
drinking, getting drunk. They started playing this drinking game, kind of like Truth or Dare. And Hana was not playing, and Kiko was not playing. They were sitting next to each other.
mhm
So, but JK and all the rest of the friends was playing. So when they started playing, they started talking and asking all these different questions and stuff. In the meantime, in between time, Kiko and Hano are sitting there having conversations, and he looking at them like,
Y'all don't think this
are
is
they?
weird?
Yeah, he looking around like exactly like he like y'all don't think this weird like, and then he looking at Kiko. He's like, are they always this close? And she was like, yeah, girl, yeah, dude, they always close.
Yeah.
They super close. And he was like, oh, okay, it's time going by. They just having a good time, kicking and
Ooh,
kicking up
ooh,
and
ooh,
laughing.
ooh. Real quick before you get there, there's a part where old girl is in the kitchen and Kiko comes in there and was like trying to talk to her and say stuff to her, and they kind of had made like a small agreement of like, we'll never be friends, girl, but I'll give you, I'll be nicer, but I'm not gonna be your friend. We'll never act like that, and we'll be nicer.
Right.
So they're
And
on
Kiko gonna
good-ish
say,
terms.
yeah, but Kiko gonna say, no, they was not on good-ish terms.
Well,
Cause
considering
Kiko gonna say, let's just do it for JK. And she was like, well, you weren't doing it with JK when you was cheating.
right, but I mean they were on goodish terms considering how she had been treating her. So like they weren't gonna be friends and they weren't gonna be like cool like that. But she wasn't gonna be as hateful to her as she had been until. Go ahead.
Right. But here's the thing that she was hateful to her because here's the reason. She cheated on JK, but the real reason was that girl liked her.
Right.
Liked him.
Right.
And that's just what it was. Now, of course, she don't know that, guys. We only know that.
Right.
But she don't know why she's feeling this way.
Right.
So it's a couple things that happened before this scene that I'm telling y'all about that's kind of not important. They have a good time and do all this other stuff in between time. Um, but oh, I do want to say this. So the one day before this day that this happened, earlier when they woke up that morning, she got a text from Tay. The text said, "Come to the gym." She's like, "I don't even know where the gym is." He told her, when we first got here, blah 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 blah. This is where the gym is. So she goes to the gym and it's JK in there. So JK is talking to her and he's like, "Why can't you just get along with her? Like y'all can't just get along for 5 minutes." She was like, "Listen, I don't like her. You cannot make me like her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this what it is? I just do not like her." And he was like, "You know what? I already know that you wouldn't like her, but I need you to just be respectable. Just chill
Mm-hmm.
or whatever." And they just decided, she just gonna chill, but she didn't like it. She didn't like it. So, but every time she see JK, it's almost like, but he looking so good. Look at
Mm-hmm.
he looks so. Oh, he over there looking like bop bop bop. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so now this is later on in the night. So later on in the night, and that night they're playing, they're having like this game. This is like the day before New Year's Eve, the day before New Year's Eve, and they, like I said, they're playing all these games and they're having a good time. And Han was looking at him like, "Y'all don't see this? This weird.
That's weird.
And yeah, this is not right. I ain't used to this." Now, keep in mind now, guys, that Hano is very young. They're like 27, 28. Hano's like 20, 21. So
Mm-hmm.
he's still young minded. So Hano's like, "Oh, this is this weird. Like I ain't never like had a group of friends that are like this."
Cause he hang out with all his college, cause he's in school. He hang out with all his
Right,
college buddies, and all they do is like just drink a lot and just go party. Like that's all they do. They don't do this grown up travel shit like they're doing right now.
right, right. So Kiko starts telling them that they had something going on, and
Cause
go ahead, man.
by this point by this point it's been said to a few people. So I think J.K. Jimin, Kiko, probably Hobie, and maybe one other person know that this was their relationship was fake.
Right, just to
So
get Kiko back.
yeah, so and which is one of the reasons why Hobie was so negative towards the girl, because he felt like he felt like JK was trying to hurt Kiko, which wasn't necessarily the case. He just wanted to get her back, but he felt a way because he didn't think the relationship was real from the jump. But
Right.
he so she when she's talking to Hano about it, she kind of mentions like, yeah, oh, it was like one time when they like fake dated, and he's like, what? And then she goes, "Oh crap, you don't know." She's like, "Don't say
Uh-huh.
anything to her." And as soon as she thought that or said it a little bit,
He got
he
right
already
on
got.
her. He like, "Girl, bye." He got right on her.
That mess was too funny. I was like, okay, well, so much for that. This is gonna change the whole trajectory of the trip.
That was just so funny because she was like, "Please don't say nothing to her." He was like, "Girl, bye, I'm about to say something now."
Right.
He went over there and grabbed that girl or and jacked her to that room so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Took her in that room. He was like, "Oh, so you ain't gonna tell me that you and JK was dating?"
Right.
And she was like, "It ain't nothing like that. It wasn't nothing like that." He was not trying to hear that.
Mm-mm. At
And he was
all.
like, "Did you sleep with her?" She was just sick. She was like, but it wasn't nothing like that.
Right. Which
It wasn't nothing.
she was like, I was gonna tell you, and I'm like, girl, what? Like, I understood what she was saying because they hadn't known each other long, but you have this man around all of these people.
But she was going to tell him then. Like, she was going to
Yeah.
tell him on this trip. Like, this trip solidified the closest that they had. So
Right.
she was going to tell him on that trip.
Right. She just hadn't had the opportunity to do it
She
yet.
didn't get the chance to because the old
Mm-hmm.
girl let the cat out the bag.
And she was hot.
Woo! So as soon as she told, she was like, "I was gonna tell you, it's not nothing like that." She started trying to explain that it was what it was, and then he was just like, "You know what? My grandma's sick anyway," because they kept calling him. His grandma was sick,
Mm-hmm.
so they kept calling him, and but they told him it's not that bad. You don't have to come back. Blah 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 blah. So he was like, "You know what? My grandma's sick anyway. I'm going home." And she was like, "So you breaking up with me?" He was like, "I don't know what I'm doing."
Mm-hmm.
So she is furious now. He packing his bags, swinging clothes. She pissed off. Now she's boo-hoo crying, running out this room. Now, because of the closeness that her and her friends had, they immediately seen her and started to like get into like what's going on, what's wrong, blah 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 blah. They
Mm-hmm.
are super close friends. So she goes downstairs and she about to tear this girl up. She seen her, she was like, you. I see the seed in my head.
Mm-hmm.
She looked at her, she was like, you did, you told him. And JK was like, hold up, Tiger. And that's what he called her. Tiger, hold up, Tiger. And of course, she felt some type of way about that nickname.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, hold on, Tiger, what's going on? She was like, she told Holler that bop, 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 and bop, bop, bop. Girl, the girl sitting behind JK, like holding on to his arm,
Cause she already knew
scared
what it
to death.
was.
This girl was about to knock her out. And
Mm-hmm.
like, she was about to drag her. Like, that's how she felt.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, she was Superman. She was like, that wasn't for you to tell, blah, 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 blah. And said a whole bunch of unnecessary things. And then old girl ran upstairs. And then, I think JK drug her upstairs.
Mm-hmm. Cause he
And
was
he
like,
was
"What
like,
the hell? Like, why would you
yeah,
even
go
say
ahead.
anything?" And she was like,
Uh-huh.
"I didn't know. I really did think that he already knew. Like, I wasn't trying to share her business like that, but I just assumed that he knew and all this." And he's like, "You should have kept your mouth shut. Like, this was none of your business to even be sharing. So I don't know why you felt the need to say anything, whether he knew or not." And she's like, "I get that, but it wasn't out of ill intent. I promise." Blah blah blah. But he felt a way about it, and
He felt a way about it. And then he told her that, and on top of that, she the one that told me to tell you what we had. I
mm-hmm,
wasn't even going to tell you.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Go ahead,
That
dude.
was real too. I was like, dang, JK, you ain't have to. She already down. You ain't got to kick her. You had to kick her
Well, he
too.
was mad about his best friend,
Show
honey.
was. So yeah, so they have that whole conversation. So then, as Hano's packing all his stuff, he's like, they're trying to figure out how you gonna get back to town or whatever. So Jimin is gonna take him. Well, on the way out, Hano says Hano was doing something, but he ends up saying like, "Oh, was you sleeping with them too?" referring to Jimin and Tay. And immediately
They was
JK,
like, whoa,
yeah.
whoa.
First of all, this was in front of everybody. Like
First of all, you
so
would not be slut shaming me.
yeah, it was in front of every. Mind you, okay, so we didn't say who all was there for this trip, but it is J.K. Hano, the girl Kiko, Jimin, Tay. I think I might have already said them. Namjoon and his boo Maya, who
I
I'm pretty
love
sure is a
Maya.
black girl. I'm pretty
Black.
sure she's a black girl. I love that. I said
I
yes.
knew you
Come
was
on, Maya, be
thinking
the black
that.
girl.
Yes.
I said that's yeah. And then Jin and his wife and
And soon to be
Hobie.
child.
Yeah, and so they end up announcing that too, that they're pregnant, and they do like some activities and stuff like that. But they announce that they're pregnant. They're gonna be celebrating that the next day. So he says this in front of all of those people, and
Uh-huh.
JK ends up punching the mess out of him.
Uh-huh.
And then Jimin's like, you know what? I would try to fight you too, like JK just hit you, but I'm gonna take your ass back to town.
Yeah, because she told him to. If she didn't tell him to,
He wouldn't have
if
done it.
yeah, he wouldn't. He would have not done it because he wasn't gonna take him.
Yeah. Yeah. So he ends up taking her back or whatever. Old girl's pissed. She's upset. She's like, my relationship is over. This girl ruined it. This is her fault. Blah 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 blah. All this other stuff. So JK's trying to handle that situation, but he also like left Kiko alone because he was pissed and he wanted to be there for his best friend. Which I get it, but that's your girl.
But I'm finna say, boo, I do not get it because what you not finna do is leave me for a whole night to be with somebody else that's your best friend when I'm your boo. I don't care what I did. I'm not finna be in that room by myself all night while you hooked up in the bed with her.
Right. Their whole thing was just very weird. Like they were like, yeah, people just get it, and I'm like, nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. Like, no, they don't. Y'all stop lying to yourselves.
Well, like Hannah said, this is weird.
Yeah, it was weird. They were like uncomfortably close. Like it wasn't like a brother sister relationship. It was like they
No,
was
but it was like We best friends, right? But I put my arms around you and kiss your neck. But we best
Yeah.
friends. But we best friends.
Like, no. That's like when the girls be like, that's my brother, but they be fucking. It'd be like just like
Right.
that. That's exactly what it's like. But
uh,
yeah, so he leaves. She's upset. Kiko's upset. JK with the girl. Everybody's trying to
uh,
handle that. Old girl is like not wanting to be bothered after a certain point. She's everybody else like the next day. Everybody's kind of functioning, getting out about, eating, all this other stuff. And old girl's like in her room. Well, they're having a party that night where they were all gonna get dressed up and celebrate. I think they were bringing in the new year or something like that, or maybe the new
uh-huh.
year had already happened. I don't remember what.
Yeah, so they was getting dressed. This is New Year's Eve that they're gonna count down at night.
Mhm.
So all of them was getting like real cute and dressed up for the New Year's Eve, and like JK was looking good,
Mhm.
and Kiko was looking cute too, but she was looking like a little baby cute.
Mhm.
And she was like, I really didn't mean I didn't really mean that. I feel so bad. I just want to talk to her. He was like, you need to stay away from her.
Mhm.
Cause like, don't even talk to her. Don't say one word to her. Like, I understand. I get it. You didn't mean to say it. Cause I trust you and I love you, but you need to stay away from her.
Cause I can't guarantee what she gonna do to you.
Right. So that New Year's Eve, everybody downstairs, they starting to get crunk. They starting to drink, all that stuff. And oh, girl never did come downstairs. And he was like, I'm gonna go up there and check on her. And Jimmy was like, no, leave her alone. She don't want to be bothered. And he was like, but she don't want to be bothered with y'all. That's not me. I'm her best friend. I'm
Right.
going up there. And he was like, dude, bro, she definitely said for you not to come up there. She
Right.
said you cannot come up there. And he was like, Dad, really me, the best friend? So now he's feeling some type of way, but he don't know why. So the whole night, as the night go by, everybody having a good time. He just sitting there looking at the steps, wondering when she coming down them steps. Like he's sitting here like, Dad, should I go up there? 5 more minutes, and I'm going up there anyway. So before them 5 minutes came, honey, she came down them stairs in that dress.
Looking fly.
Looking fly, honey, look good. They had no bra, they had no panties on. Looking cute in that silky dress with her back out.
Mhm.
My Kiko over there looking like a toddler.
Mhm. I
I mean, I'm
just
sure she was cute, but
she
the
probably
way
she
the
wasn't
author
looking like that.
describes,
Yeah.
yeah, the way the author describes the outfits. I
Mhm.
mean, so so he was just like he was like, oh my God, like he looked at her like, damn,
Mhm.
she is fine.
Mhm.
But she always be telling her she beautiful and all kind of stuff like that anyway.
Right.
But the way he couldn't keep his eyes off her is different.
Right. But he don't know why he
Yeah, but he
looking at
don't know why he looking at her like that.
cuz they just best friends.
hmm So she go downstairs. He go over there. Instantly, he running to her.
Mhm.
I couldn't be Kiko, baby.
Me
I
either.
could not be Kiko. So he runs to her as soon as she get down these stairs. And he's like, "You okay? You all right?" And she was like, "I'm good. I'm fine. Don't worry about me. Go on over there with your girlfriend. Don't worry about me."
Right.
So she go instantly. She starts throwing back shots. She's having a good time now. She's starting to feel the alcohol. She's having a good time. She's dancing. Now they start playing like these games and stuff. And she drunk now. So now she
Dancing on
like, yeah,
tables and heels with her good pal Tay, cause he also drunk.
right. But we ain't even got there yet. It ain't even got to this is my favorite part. Okay.
Mhm.
So they drinking, having a good time, and they just talking. They talking about sex and playing these games with sex
Oh
in it. Cause
yes.
Tay all about sex, so he always bringing it up.
Mhm.
So she started talking to them about it or whatever. And she was like, "Yeah, you remember on the camper trip in the tent? Ooh, like she was drunk, so she was just talking. And he was like, girl,
Mhm.
be quiet, cause Kiko right here, okay."
Mhm.
She was like, "Oh yeah, but you remember when how it felt when bop bop bop," and he instantly grabbed her arm,
Mhm.
taking her upstairs, shut the door. It must have been. Oh wait. I skipped the part. I skipped the part.
Which part?
Okay, let me take y'all back real quick because I feel like I need to put this in. So that same night when they came downstairs, and right before she got super drunk, they were still drinking. Tay childish self decided to play hide and seek. Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yeah, so Tay decided to play hide and seek, right? So he hiding. It's Kiko and Namjoon are the seekers. Everybody else hiding. So YN and JK end up going in this room that has to be Jin's room. And they hide in that closet. I don't know, in my head it was like a small, like Chester closet.
That's what it sounded like because of how close they were to one another.
Like I don't know why they didn't go in the walk-in closet.
That's what I'm saying. Especially because you couldn't turn no lights on. So it's like y'all would have had all the space in the world.
I mean, but I guess I felt like it would have been obvious if they would have hide it, but they didn't hide no more, less obvious.
Right.
So as they in this closet, he like, you got your ass to my crotch. She like, get your crotch off my ass. And they like in there trying to move. And he was like, I don't know why you came in here anyway. She was like, ain't that many places to hide. And as she kind of brushed up against his crotch, she heard him do that grinding. Why he do that? Why he do that? She knew then. She knew then. She was already halfway there. But she knew then. She was like, oh, I feel him. He getting hard. Okay. So anyway, so they in the closet. See Kiko come in, and then she start to like fall out the closet. Why he grab her by her waist?
Right.
And she looking like, JK. And he's like, oh, hey, baby.
Right, like nothing happened. Hey, hi.
And girl looking at her like, yeah, that's my man. That ain't your man. That's my man. So anyway, so as the time go back, now I'm talking about guys. He is mad at her because now she didn't up there spilling the beans while Kiko right there. He grabbed her, run upstairs with her, fussing her out. Why you being like this? Why you talking like this? Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, but she the one that cheated on you. And she the one that made my boyfriend go away. And blah, blah, blah. And she was talking junk, y'all. When I tell you she was talking junk, he got mad, put his hand on that wall. Y'all know how the scene goes. He had his head up on that wall. He was like, you driving me crazy. I don't know why I feel this way.
Girl.
Oh, this in the hallway, upstairs in the hallway. And he was like, you driving me crazy. I knew then, girl, my heart started fluttering when I heard that part. And they were just looking at each other, like breathing hard and looking at each other. He looking at her lips. She looking at his lips. And they got close. So what was about to really happen?
Girl, you already know.
But right in time, here go Jimmy. What the hell y'all doing? Always gotta be Jimmy messing something up.
Jimmy's the one that be trying to save them low key.
Yeah, Jimmy be trying to save them. And so they go downstairs. She's like, nothing's going on. She run downstairs, right? And that's when she get up on that
table with Tay.
On that table with Tay. It was dancing with him. She was really lit then, getting lit. Had on heels, looking cute, you know. And then Jimmy come and sit down beside JK. He was like, so what's really going on? What's happening? And he was like, what you talk about? Ain't nothing happening. He was like, but y'all are acting really close to normal. And he was like, nah, this is normal. He was like, no, it's not normal. He's like, I'm not telling you what you're doing is wrong. I'm just telling you to be careful. And he was like, Jimmy, I would never cheat on Kiko. He said, I ain't say that either.
Right. You are projecting, sir.
Yeah, I ain't say that either. I'm just saying you need to be careful. And that's all he said. And I love Jimmy for that. So, as time go by, I feel like he was just like, well, they were still kind of talking back and forth, and he was like, but look at her, she up there on that table. I'm about to go get her down. He didn't even worried about Kiko.
At
I don't even know
all.
where Kiko at all. I don't know where she at this point. Cause
Mm-hmm.
he's sitting here staring at this girl, and he's like, I'm about to get her down. She gonna fall. He was like, man, she having a good time. Just let her be. She
Mm-hmm.
up there with Tay. This Jimmy talking to her. Let her be. She having a great time. He was like, they just kind of kept talking, kept talking. He was like, okay, now I'm really about to go get her. Because she was about to bust her head for real. So
Mm-hmm.
he went over there, got her off for that. She didn't want to get down. She smacking him like, put me down. And then what he do?
Smack her in the ass.
Smack that ass. Now, he knows she like that.
Mm-hmm. Because
He
that's
know
one of the
that was a
things they
fun.
had experimented with.
Yes, and she loved it.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if anybody knows, you need to try
It's great
that.
fun. Good
It's
times.
great fun. It's
Mm-hmm.
a good time.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so he's smacking her on her ass. She like, oh, I felt a jolt in her pussy when he did that.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes her upstairs. He's like, you need to go to bed. He started getting her ready for bed. He put her in the bed. She was like, I can't go to bed with these clothes on. I need to be dressed. She knew what she was doing. And so she put on he started, okay, what was he doing? Oh, no. The first thing she wanted to take her makeup off. He was like, you always want to take your makeup off, just lay down and go to sleep. She was like, oh, you know my face gonna look bad in the morning if I don't take this makeup off. So he get her makeup off. He started taking off her makeup, which was so sweet. And then as they kind of just having a conversation back and forth, they really are really close friends though at the same time.
They are, but they just need to admit that you can be best friends with somebody, but also be like their lover.
Yeah, y'all best friend lovers. That's what y'all are.
Mm-hmm.
So they're having this great conversation back and forth. He was like, okay, now get in the bed. She was like, no, but I need to change my clothes. And she started taking off her clothes and he gonna turn around. And she
Right.
like, you act like you ain't never seen this before. Are you serious? He was like, yeah, but I went with Kiko did. So she was like, boy, bye. So he kind of helped her try to put on her clothes without trying to look up. But he was looking at her. And she got in the bed and he ended up like she like Fred, did she go to sleep?
Yeah, she passed out, and he put a bucket beside her just to make sure she didn't throw up in the bed or nothing like that, and was like, "All right, girl, go to bed, do your thing."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So then he went back. I don't even know what happened after that.
After that, he went back, and then when she woke up like crazy early, and she started throwing up because she was sick as hell, from all the alcohol she drank. She had a horrible hangover, and she was kind of reeling from the night before and just starting to remember stuff. And Tate also had a crazy ass hangover because he too was messed up. So
Uh-huh.
everybody's still pretty much asleep because everybody was pretty much drunk. So. Uh, they're waking up and kind of doing their thing, and she's sitting there and she's thinking about things, and she's like, you know what, I think I'm gonna go home. Which, it was weird because they only had like another 2 days left on the trip,
Uh-huh.
but she was like, I think I'm gonna just leave early or whatever. And she's like, so her friends are trying to talk her down. JK and Jimin are trying to talk her down, and eventually they're like, all right, so they help pack her stuff. So JK ends up finding out that she's planning on leaving, and he tells Kiko at a point that she's leaving. She's like, oh, she's leaving. So
Kiko like good.
right, I am tired.
Good.
She done ruined my trip. This girl has been had it out for me this entire time. But she ends up leaving, and then she Kiko does try to apologize for the whole situation, but old girl's like, save it, bitch, I ain't got nothing for
Girl,
you.
girl, I ain't got no time for you, bye girl.
So JK ends up volunteering to drive her home. Let's just all the way home, which is
And come back.
and come back 8 hours away. So he's gonna drive her 8 hours away, drop her off, and then come back and then leave the next day because the trip is over after that.
Girl, bye, we would have broke up.
What?
We would have had to broke up over that one.
Yeah, I'd been like, all right, just okay. So y'all in love, right? What's
Mm-hmm.
is this a joke? Because you were doing a lot for this girl that you apparently are just friends with.
Right.
So should we tell the story of what? We'll go ahead and tell that part now. So as JK is packing up his, or getting ready to take the girl home, he overhears Hobie and Kiko in the kitchen talking.
This is not that. This is not the same.
This is the scene.
Girl, no, it's not.
It is because
Girl, no, it's
it
not.
is. This is why.
Girl, no, it's
It
not.
is. Listen, listen. So they talk about the girl going home and all of that, and how he was upset while he was driving the girl home, and then they go back later on in a couple of chapters later, and they explain that this all happened before he left to take the girl home. So they end up
Oh,
backtracking. Yeah. So it, even though in the story it doesn't happen like that coincident, like it doesn't happen side by side, it's during the same time, but they just explain that part after the fact.
oh.
Yeah.
You know, I did not know that.
Yes, cause when they're talking about in the car how he was kind of quiet and the girl was talking or whatever, and she didn't understand what was wrong with him. He kept asking what was wrong, and he was saying nothing. Then they go back to tell the reason why he was acting like that is because he had overheard Kiko and Hobie in the kitchen, but he said not to talk about it right now. That he would talk about it when he came back from dropping the
Mm.
girl off.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to know everything. Then he want to know everything.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Something that we also forgot to mention, which isn't really super important, but Yoongi and the girl ended up messing around at a point. They didn't have like sex, but they did like do hand stuff. So,
Yeah.
not super important,
At,
but it's just something I thought about.
at the club.
At the club. At the club, in the
It
office, on top of the desk.
right, and it really ain't super important because that's really how they acted.
Yeah, they left
Like,
that right alone.
mm-hmm.
But so yeah, so JK, so he's taking the girl home, and he's kind of got an attitude, and the reason why he has an attitude is because as he was getting ready to leave, he overheard Kiko and Hobie in the kitchen, and Hobie was like, "You need to tell him," and she's like, I just finally getting him back, like I love him, blah 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 blah," and he's like, "If you don't say something, I will, because this is messed up. This is
Yeah,
my
he was
friend
like,
too."
yeah, because he was looking at her like, girl, look at you. This is eating you up inside. You could look at your face and see. And
Mm-hmm.
she was like, we're just now getting into a place where we okay. And besides, he said he doesn't care, so I'm leaving him alone. He said, but it's eating you up, and you need to tell him. He said, and that's my friend too. So if you don't tell him, I'm gonna tell him. And she was like, you wouldn't do that. And he was like, I would do that. And that's when JK came in.
Mm-hmm. So he said, "I don't know what y'all talking about, but we will talk about this when I get back."
Yeah, because at this time he really still thinking that her and Hobie messed around.
Right, because it definitely seemed that way for a little bit.
Well, because of the relationship he had with his best friend.
Exactly. So he like, everybody got these types of
Right.
relationships because this is what I'm out here doing. It's only right.
This is normal.
Right. Like, no, it's still weird.
Yeah. So, I
Oh,
guess that's the top.
yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
Um, so then he takes. I kind of feel like it's two different times because they end up going back to his place.
They do, but that's
Cause
later
she take
on. Yeah, it is later
when
on.
she tell him the truth.
Oh, you talking about with Kiko? My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she tells him,
She
yeah, when she tells him the truth, that is at his house, but that's after everybody
right,
comes back from the
but
trip.
Hobie takes her over there
Yeah, but that's
to
after.
his house.
Yeah, well, that's after everybody comes back from the trip, though.
But I thought it was the next day she had to tell him the truth.
It was, but so
I
okay.
don't know. Anyway, either way it go, the next day she ended up going to JK's house to tell him the truth. He wanted to know the truth. She was like, "You would hate me if I ever told you the truth." And he was like, "I think I deserve to know the truth." And so she ended up telling him she had an abortion and she didn't want to ever tell him because it would ruin him. And she just didn't ever think they were going to get back together. So she thought it was easier to do that. Now JK pissed off because he was like, you couldn't tell me that?
Right. You could have
You
been
couldn't
told me
let
that
me
from
make that
jump.
decision? Yeah, he was like, you couldn't let me make that decision for myself. He was like, but you telling me you love me. You telling me you love me, but we can't even have a simple conversation about our child that you didn't give me a chance to make nothing,
He didn't even know she
any
was
decisions
pregnant.
on.
Yeah, he didn't know she was
Right.
pregnant.
And then she was like, well, the child wasn't well anyway, so I had that border. Which now I'm looking at her like, now you stupid girl. You really could have just told him that was your like out.
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't. But you felt like you couldn't tell him that.
Mhm.
So then he was just like, after all that, he was just like, I don't ever want to see you again. And
Mhm.
so in the meantime, in between time, Hobie is calling the girl, and he's like, "Can you please go over JK's house like now?" She's
Mhm.
like, "Wow, what's wrong?" He was like, and he called her from an unknown number. I don't know why, but then he was like, "Just go over there, please. He's going to need you, so please come over here now." So
Mhm.
then she goes over there and she see Kiko running out the house. And she's like, she don't like Kiko, y'all. Y'all
Mhm.
know she don't like Kiko, but she felt sorry for her crying like that. So she was like, what's wrong? And then she was just like, oh, just go to him. He needs you, blah, blah, blah. So she go upstairs. Before she even make it up there, JK is tearing up the house. I'm talking about tearing up stuff, y'all. She watched him tear up stuff for a minute. Then she let him know he there. I'm here for you. Blah blah blah. I don't even know if she told him right then. He told her right then and there, or waited for a minute. Do you remember?
No, I think JK ended up telling her, but I think it took him a little bit, but he told her like at some point during that night, I feel, or maybe it was the next day.
Uh-huh.
He did end up telling her pretty quickly,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, he was pretty distraught.
Yeah.
Um Also, while this is happening, or a little bit before it happened, when old girl gets back, she ends up talking to Hanul, and she's feeling some type of way because he slut shamed her, and
Uh-huh.
she's like, we need to talk though, like we'll figure out what's going on with our relationship. So she go over to his house, and he's like trying to pick up stuff, and she's like, honestly, I ain't come over here to look at your cleanliness of your house. We need to talk.
Right.
And so he's like, got it, cool. And so they're starting to talk or whatever, and he's kind of saying what he feels and all this other stuff, and she's like, okay, cool, we're done. So it's been fun, it's been cool, but I'm not doing
Uh-huh.
this anymore. So that was that. So then
And he was like, please give me another chance. I'm
mhm.
sorry. I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with you. She
Mhm.
was like, but I don't. Bye, bye,
Mhm.
bye.
Mhm.
So go ahead, girl.
So JK ends up telling the girl about what happened with Kiko, and she's just like, oh my gosh, I had no idea, like that's wild. Now she really hate the girl.
Uh-huh.
and and
But in the same sense, she understand her too,
yeah, she
because she's a woman.
understood. Yeah, she
Hmm.
understood, but she also, like, she really could have just said that.
Right.
But, I don't know. And then she's like, honestly, like, don't you think if the situation was reversed, you would keep my secret too? Because he's like, well, how could Hobie do that to me? That's my friend. And she's like, let's be honest. Like, he's best friends with Kiko. We best friends. Like, you would hold my secret if something like that happened to me, and I would do the same for you. And he like, yeah, but like, it's still some bullshit.
Hmm.
So, dang, this episode is all over the place, girl.
It's okay. It's
It was
okay.
all over the place.
It's okay. It's still great.
Yeah. But so yeah, so that happens, and he's like, I don't ever want to see you, so whatever. So her ho Tay and Jimin are like trying to take care of JK as things are happening, kind of like they did the first time they broke up, where there's somebody there with him all the time making sure he's good, but he's not sleeping, he's not for real eating, like nothing, and they're noticing it. Well, there's a day that Hobie is supposed to come over to pick up the rest of Kiko's stuff. So the girl asked him like, "Hey, do you want me to be around for this so that you're not by yourself, because I don't want you to be alone during this."
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, "Yeah." He was kind of hesitant at first, but then he decides to go ahead and do it.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that happens or whatever. Time goes on. Um,
Girl. Mm-mm. So Hobie come over there. He get the stuff. Hobie kind of apologize to him still, and he's like, "Nope, you my friend. How could you not tell me something like that? Like you knew she was pregnant.
mhm.
You let her do all that. You ain't tell me nothing." And he mad. He mad
Mhm.
at this point. So he about to like knock him out too.
Mhm. And he's like, "How
And
long have you been known?" He said, "Since the very beginning."
right. And so JK charging him about to knock him out, about to lay him out. She
Mhm.
jumped in the middle and he was like, yeah, how stupid are you? I was about to punch you in the face. Blah, blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah, blah, this. And she was like, you is this who you are now?
Cause
Is
he
this
was just punching people left and right.
he was very aggressive. He not normally that aggressive.
Mhm.
So he ended up letting hubby go, and then hubby was like, I'm sorry, I really am sorry about this. And he was like, whatever, dude, like just go
Mhm.
on. And so now go ahead. I feel like I needed to put that in there.
Yeah, no, that was important. That was important. Um, 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 um. So time goes on. He's still in a funk, but he's getting better, and they finally kind of get him to go out and just have a good time. So they go out to this bar. Actually, it's the bar that she used to work at, the one that Yoongi's brother owns, and they're all hanging out. Her, Jimin, JK, and Tae, and they're just having a good time. They're trying to introduce Tae to some people. I mean, not Tae, JK to people. Tae introduces him to this girl named Esther, and to talk to JK. She's a photographer, so they have like stuff in common, all that. And while they're there, old girl goes to get a drink, and who runs up on her? Hano. So he
Mm-hmm.
says hi real quick. It's nothing like too deep. He's just like, hey. She's like, hey, what's up? Why are you here? But whatever, whatever. He's like, if you want me to leave, just say that. She's like, you good? Enjoy the rest of your night. He's like, bet, bye. So
Oh
you
no, that was the first time when she walked in the club. So by the time she went to the bar, he was drunk
yeah, and then he tried her.
at the bathroom.
Yeah, at the bathroom, right. So he tried her. It was getting a little crazy, and no sooner than it was getting crazy, JK pops up, but JK ready to fight yet again.
Yeah, but you know why? Because her and JK was already getting frisky in that club already.
Yeah, because I think by this point, or was that the first night that they ended up having sex again, and then that started
Baby,
the whole
this was
thing?
the night. She didn't waste no time.
No time.
She
They
was
got that
waiting
thing.
on that.
Girl, they got that thing popping immediately. It was like she was like, "You good?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good. You ready?" "Yeah, I'm
Yeah, because
ready."
that same night, Jimmy told her that, while you've been going through your thing, she been going through it too, and she got to find her new place to stay.
Yep. Yep.
So he was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, the landlord daughter need a place to stay, so he gonna let his daughter stay there, and she got to move out in a month or two."
Mhm.
And he was like, "Why wouldn't she tell me that I'm her best friend?" And he was like, "Because you were going through something, she want to put that on you." So then that's when he
Exactly.
went to her and was like telling me, "Oh, you didn't, why you didn't tell me you getting put out?" She was like, "It's not a big deal.
I'm
You
gonna
were
figure
going
it
through
out.
something. I'm
Yeah.
gonna figure it out. I'll get something. Don't worry." And he was like, "But you should have told me. You can stay with me."
Right. And Jimin had also offered, and she was just like, I don't want to be a burden to nobody, blah, blah, blah. So she kind of went back and forth on whether she was going to do it or not. Then she decided, like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stay. So she
Hmm.
decided to move in with him, and you already know what's going to happen next
You
because
already know. They put that bed in that room and didn't even put it up
didn't even
for a
put it
long
up
time.
for a while. I guess you should probably have a bed, and it's like chapter 50 something. I guess you should have a bed. You're like, yeah, probably.
Right, so she just slept in the bed with him, and then they just kind of kept that thing going. And she was like, "Do you think this gonna be messy this time between us?" And he was like, "Why don't we just let this thing go and just see how it's gonna go?"
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what they decided to do. So they just kept going and kept screwing, and all this stuff was happening. And then as time go by, he started working with her, and a whole bunch of junk happened at work that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
And then one day Tay came over there. I don't know if I'm going too far.
No, you good, girl?
Tay comes over there in the middle of the night. Now they about to get it on, okay? He
Mm-hmm.
over here asking her, "What you like? What's your fantasy like? You never told me." And she would not tell him. So they were getting all sexy and stuff. And he was like, "I'm about to get you." Oh, oh, oh. They start getting into it. And then the doorbell rang. And he was like, "You expecting somebody?" And then she was like, "No, you." And he was like, "No, but let me go see real quick." So then she go to see who it is, and it's Tay. And Tay all mad, but Brett hurt now because Jimmy got a girlfriend. So now
Mm-hmm.
I started thinking in my head about this other story. Remember?
Yeah. Had a girlfriend the whole
uh,
time nobody knew about.
no, that remember when? they were supposed to be best friends in that and I can't remember what story it was, and they were supposed to be best friends, but then they end up being like they were screwing, and then they end up being together.
Oh, dang, what was that one?
But that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
So I thought that they was together or
Mhm.
something in this story because they always are together.
Mhm.
So he was like, Jimmy got a girlfriend. He didn't even want to tell me. Blah blah blah. I'm mad and all this stuff. And he was like, but anyway, I'm just gonna spend the night.
And they was upset.
They was like, okay, let me get you some covers or whatever. Gave him some covers. They him go to sleep on the couch, and he was like, they laying in the bed now, looking at the ceiling, both wide open, just looking at the ceiling. And then he was like, I told you I went through with you, right?
Mhm.
And she was like, but Tay, and then he was like, you just got to be quiet.
Mhm.
So they got it on being real quiet. But let me tell you something about being quiet. It's a whole nother feeling
Mhm.
trying to be quiet. I know because I did that the other night with my mother in law's here.
I know that's right. The battle is
Anyway,
hard and I often lose, but it's fine. It is fine.
so so they did their thing or whatever, and it was great, mind blowing because they had to be so quiet.
Mhm.
And so then Tay was still there the next day. So here go JK and this girl up in the kitchen, right? He touching the feeling all on this girl. She like, stop, Tay gonna see, da da da. And he was like, he ain't gonna see. He ain't gonna see nothing. They in there still touching the feeling on each other. And who find out? Who walk in up
Mhm.
on them? Tay. And they like, Tay, it's not a big deal. Don't make it a big deal. He was like, but my two best friends fucking again. So how is this not a big deal?
Right. This is a
And they was
thing.
like, yeah, he was like, they was like, just don't read into it. It's not a big deal. Like whatever, whatever. And he was like, well, whatever. Let's go to the club tonight.
Mhm.
So they ended up going on the club, which was a bad idea, on a Sunday night. Both got drunk. Both came back to the house. Here come Jimmy the next day calling. Have you seen Tay? This one made me think they was together.
Mhm.
Cause I was like, why are you looking for Tay so hard? But then I got to thinking, maybe he was looking for Tay so hard because he thought he was gonna tell his secret.
Mm.
And
I did
then, but
not
then
think
I'm
about
like,
that.
yeah. But then I'm like, but why is it such a secret? Like, why you want to be a playboy so bad?
Cause he was about
So,
that life, girl.
well, I mean, whatever. But anyway, so he was like, yeah, Tay right here or whatever. And Tay was like, oh, where? Oh, I've been hanging out with them since my other friend gone or whatever, acted all jealous. And then he was just like, man, just call me when you get home. Kind of like, don't tell them my secret. Call me when you get home. That's how he was acting. I think it was a point, just kind of just doing regular things. And he was just like, they were working. At this point, they were working a lot and they wasn't really spending a lot of time with each other.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
So then JK sitting at home, sitting on the couch, he's like beat. He's had a hard day. And his brother called him, and his brother's like, what the world? Why he calling me for? And he was like, oh, mom miss you. You need to call mom. He was like, shoot, I keep saying I'm going to call her, and I ain't called him. So he was like, you need to call mama. And by the way, can you babysit my daughter? Because we coming in the soul, and we need some time together. JK didn't want to do it, but they agreed to do it. They end up babysitting this baby. And as time go by, it wasn't really nothing serious. They ended up babysitting the baby, realized that they were really close, and I feel like they was looking at each other like we could be great parents.
Right,
Like,
right.
like that's how they was looking at each other. So then as time go by, they still working and working and working and having a good time. At this point, him and the girl are like about to have sex again.
Mhm.
And the mama called. He's like, I keep meaning to call my mama. And she was like, why you ain't called your mama? You wrong for that. So
Mhm.
his mama tell him, okay, come home. You need to come home to Busan. I miss you, blah, 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 blah. So then he was like, okay, mama. So they end up getting ready to go to Busan, right? This is one of my favorite parts, y'all. So they end up going to Busan together. And the dad's there, the brother's there, everybody's having like this good time. And he's like, I'm trying to think, did she tell him the secret before they left her while they was there?
I think so.
Okay, rewind. They hadn't got there yet. They was getting ready to go to Busan. He's still asking her what is her secret, what is her one thing that she want to do so bad that they have not done yet.
Mhm.
And she was like, nothing. I'm not going to tell you. She had already been telling him nothing for like months.
Yeah.
And she was like, nothing, nothing, just let it go. Just drop it. It can never happen. It's stupid. It's dangerous. Just let it go. He was like, just tell me what it is. Just tell me what it is. She would never tell him what it is. So then he started playing with her. They started getting all heated. He ate her out and everything. And then he was like, you gonna tell me? You gonna tell me the secret? She was like, yes. You know, you gonna say yes to anything when you ready to bust that nut, okay?
Okay.
So then after they did what they did, he was like, okay, now tell me the secret. She was like, it's so stupid. It's so dumb. I just don't even want to tell you. And he was like, well, what is it? She was like, I want to have sex with her. I never knew what it felt like, and I want to have sex with her. She instantly looked at him because she knew what
Mhm.
happened with him and Kiko. The
Right.
one time they did have sex with her, the girl got pregnant.
Mhm.
So she instantly like looked at him when she said it, and he looked at her like, it feels fucking amazing. He was like, it's great.
Mhm.
And he was like, let me think about it. And she was like, no, you don't have to. Just let it go. You don't have to do anything. He was like, I'm going to think about it. So that was the end of that conversation.
Right.
Fast forward, they in Busan. They are chilling with the parents. They're having a good time. The parents are so happy that she's there. And so, of course, she's sleeping in his bedroom. JK's supposed to be sleeping on the couch, but he always go back to that room and sleep in that bed with that girl
Mhm.
and get out of that room before the mama wake up.
Mhm.
So he go into that room that night and they start like talking and getting all heated up and touching and feeling and then she was like, you got a condom? And he was like, shit, no, I don't got a condom. And she was like, well, no sex for you tonight, big guy. Get up out the
Mhm.
way. Get up off of me. And he was like, well, there are other ways. And she looking at him like, what
Word.
other ways? Yeah. So let me tell you, the first time I read this story, I thought they did have sex.
Mhm.
But after the second time, after we decided we was gonna read it, I figured out that it wasn't sex. They didn't. It was sex, but they did not have intercourse.
Wait. So what? Wait.
Did you?
What?
Oh,
I
you
didn't
didn't
catch
see it.
that.
You didn't catch it either. I had to catch it. I had to read it twice to catch it. So the first time, I mean, when they decided that they were going to do other things, he wanted her to sit on his dick, but not
Oh yeah
put
yeah
it
yeah
on the
yeah.
inside. I thought the first time I read it, I thought they was having sex. Wow.
So I thought that too, but then I realized because then is that are you talking about when she sat on him and she had the whatchamacallit on herself? Are you talking about that time?
This is when they in the parents' house,
Oh,
girl.
this is the parents' house.
This
Okay,
is at the
yeah,
parents' house. They didn't have no condom.
yeah,
You thought they had sex too,
I
didn't you?
did, I did.
They didn't though, because after I listened to it again, I had to listen to it 2 or 3 times now. So the when I listened to it again, he said, "Sit on my dick, but don't put it inside." So she was sliding on his dick, like grinding on his dick.
Oh, I did not
Right.
catch that.
Me neither. But then when I had read that, I was like, I wonder what's this like, because I ain't never done
Girl, if you that and
that.
if you ever like ride a knee,
Yeah, never done that either.
try it. It's a good time.
Okay, okay, I might try, but girl, I'm very like put that thing in there.
Oh yeah,
Like
no.
put
It's
that in there.
it doesn't really beat that, but it is a different type of a different type of fun, I guess.
Mm.
Okay. Try it
Mm.
out, see how you feel about it.
You see, you learn things. You learn things, ladies and gentlemen.
Mhm.
The things you learn. I do you read BTS.
Seriously.
So anyway, so she was not. They were not having intercourse, but she was sliding on his dick.
Mhm.
And the how it sounded, it sounds so good.
Mm-hmm.
And so they both nutted, of course. Because in my head, I'm like, can a man nut like that?
I mean, if there's friction, I don't see why not.
But I feel like the woman will come before the man with
Oh
that
yeah,
part.
yeah.
So, anyway, so anyway, they both busting in that, whatever. They go to sleep. Well, she actually wake up the next day, he ain't there. So I don't know if she passed out on him before he made it back or not.
Mm-hmm.
But so she go downstairs, she's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I slept in." And JK keeps laughing at her because he like, "Yeah, I know why you slept in."
Right.
So the mom was like, "It's okay, girl," and they just having a good time as they like doing their little family thing, which she fit in so well.
She did. I really like. I know we didn't know how the interaction was between Kiko and the family, but I just liked their interaction because they just seemed so like they were so familiar with one another.
hmm
So
So, so as time go by, I think they just decided they're gonna have this like family barbecue, whatever. And she's helping the mom in like in the kitchen and all kind of stuff like that. She helping her mother-in-law in the kitchen. Okay, it's not her mother-in-law, but might as well be at this
might as
point.
well, right?
So she's helping her in the kitchen and all this good stuff. And she's outside and she's like talking to the rest of the family. This is how I pictured it in my head. I don't really know how it was in the book, but this in my head, this is how it was. So he wraps his arms around her. Oh wait, let me go back to the other part because I can't forget these little parts. So before she's helping the mom in the kitchen, they are outside, they eating, having this good time at the picnic, whatever. And he talking to her in her ear, and he was like, "I'ma fuck you raw." Like it just came from nowhere. It came from nowhere, legit. He was like, "I'ma fuck you raw," and she was like, "Why you saying that?" Like she looking at them like, "Can they not hear you? Like you being
Right.
so loud right now." And he was like, "They listen to me." They back turned. They was talking, doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Yeah, last night I really liked it, and that just made me want to really feel you so. But I ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna do it here. I'm gonna wait till we get home,
Yep.
and so I can hear you, see how loud you can scream or whatever he was saying to him." So then, she was like, "Go away, like get away from me, like, cause they so playful." So as time go by, she's like helping the mama in the kitchen and doing like little stuff, and the mom goes out or whatever, and JK comes around her. He puts his arms around her, right? And then he was like, "Are you mad at me?" And she was like, "Why would I be mad at you?" He was like, "I don't know. It's just kind of been acting weird since I said what I said when we was at the picnic." And she was like, "No, you just get on my nerves." He was like, but she was like, "Get off of me. People gonna see. They gonna see. Your family gonna see." And he was like, "Let them see.
Let them see,
Let them see."
girl.
Girl, when, when he said "let them see," it solidified to me that he didn't even care no more.
Yeah, he in love with that girl.
He loved that girl, okay, and I feel like he gonna tell her.
I think so
So
too.
yeah, so he was like, "Let them see. Right now, my main concern is you, and are you mad at me?"
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "No, you just getting on my nerves, but I ain't mad at you." And he was like, "Well, good." And then he was like, "Well, I gotta go to the store. Mama want me to go to the store because we ran out of beer. She got a six pack and thought it was enough, but I gotta go get some more." So then the dad was like, well, "Can you pick some sausages up for the little baby girl and all that good stuff?" I love the little girl too.
So cute.
So they end up going. He was like, "You want to go with me?" She was like, "Yeah." So they end up going to the store. She in the car, just jamming to his music,
Mm-hmm.
and he comes back out the store. Ain't got a bag in his hand. He was just holding everything, which remind me of Aldi. I don't know how it is,
Yes,
and
yes. All
yeah,
these are the same. You don't have no bags unless you bring your own. Same with
right. I
Save a
feel
Lot
like
too.
yeah, yeah. No, it ain't like that at our Save a Lot up here.
Really?
Yeah, it's not. It's not up here.
Dang, our Save a Lot
But
don't.
Aldi is like that too. But so he came out the store with all this stuff, threw the condoms in her lap. She was like, "It's what was the intent?" She was like, "What does that mean, intense?" He was like, "I don't know. It's supposed to make the sex better or whatever." And so they just driving home. And he was like, "It's a 10-minute ride, you know." we can pull over. She was like, he was like, you ain't got to say but one word and I can pull over. And she was like,
Mhm.
all right, okay, pull over.
Mhm.
So they pulled over and then like they was like, she was like, get in the back seat. So she got in the back seat. He laid down. She was gonna like kind of straddle him. And then he was like, nah, let me eat your pussy first. She was like, we ain't got no time. Just fuck me real quick. Come on.
Right.
And then he was like, okay, but you the one that stretched out. You know I'm big.
Right.
He didn't say that, but that's what I
That
was
was
thinking.
yeah, that's it was implied.
Right. And so they got it on. It was great. And then what was the last words that they said? Because I couldn't remember.
I remember just keep seeing like mutual help, but I don't remember what was the
Um,
last words.
well, anyway, um, so they got it on and they was getting ready to go back to the house. And then that was where the story ended, guys.
So this story is not completed. It as of right now
Mm-mm.
ended on chapter 52. So that's where we're kind of at right now. We know we have stories that we have to go back and finish, but they're still in process. Except one of them. One of them's finished, but the other ones are
And
still in
y'all know,
process.
and y'all know we really don't like to come with y'all with no unfinished story, but this story was just so good. It had so much detail. It had so much into it that it was good for one episode.
Mm-hmm.
So this story was so good. Like we're gonna do a discussion episode on this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So what you think, D?
I like the story. I did not like Kiko, and I didn't. The only reason I
Mm-mm.
didn't care for her is just because it really would have just taken a conversation for a lot of the stuff to go differently, and
Right,
I feel like I don't know. It bothered me that she just wasn't honest with him, but she was so in love with this man, and I'm like, you could have just told this man what was going on, and everything would have been fine. Because realistically, if she would have just been honest with him from jump and not broken up with him and just been like, "Hey, boo, I'm pregnant, but this is what's going on," I'm sure he
right,
would have understood, and they still would have been able to be together. But for real, they ain't had no business together in the first place.
right. Because what we failed to mention is that when they were at that cookout, um, a barbecue picnic, whatever they was having, um, the family kept asking the girl, is he okay? He cool? Is he good? Because all they knew is that he was so in love with Kiko, and all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden he is not with Kiko anymore. And they had already knew that they broke up the first time and got back together.
Mm-hmm.
So they was just wanting to check on him, but they knew that he would not tell them anything, and that that's why they kept asking the girl because they knew that she would know before they would know.
Right. The other part of it that I did like the story. There was a lot of detail. The smut was amazing. I feel like
Hmm.
I just so, okay. This is the only problem that I have with this story, and it's just the fact that the fact like okay, most of the fanfics that we read, they go through this whole thing where they're like they meet, they're trying to figure it out, and then they decide yes we're gonna be together, and then they like live their life. This
Hmm.
story is like they're cool, everything's cool, they mess around, they have these feelings, and then it just drags on for so long of
Hmm.
like, oh, I don't know why I feel like this. What's gonna happen next? Blah blah blah. And it's like we know they love each other already. Like, when are they gonna get to that? Because I feel like this has been. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Naruto and the Great War, the Great Ninja War, and how it was like 14,000 episodes long. That's what
Carry
this
on
feels
forever.
like. Yeah, because I'm like, we know they're in love. Let's let them be in love and let them have their time. Like, I want to see
Right.
what happens when they finally decide to be in a relationship. And it's just I think that's been a little bit frustrating for me, but the story is
Uh-huh.
so good that I'm not like too upset about it, but it is something that I wish would have been a little bit more sped through. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Well, the girl the author tells everybody that I told y'all this was a slow burn.
Yeah, it is a slow burn, but it is like an excruciatingly. It's like they lit it on fire and then they paused it, and then they lit it again and they paused it.
Exactly.
I'm like,
Exactly.
damn, I just want to know.
Uh, yes, you are very right. It is so good. And honestly, I honestly, when I first read this, it was only 51 chapters. She updated with the 52.
Yeah.
And then when 52 came out, you should have seen everybody. It was like, oh my gosh, it's a new chapter. Oh my God. And see, the thing that I do love about her chapters, so that when she does come out, because they have been forever since she come out, honey, them episodes them chapters be so long.
They do, and that's one of the
I
things
ain't
I
mad
do
about
like.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the length of her chapters, and I love that they have so much things in them. And if you think you're gonna miss a chapter or maybe skim through a chapter and know what's going on in the next chapter,
Nope.
you wrong, because
You
that's
better
not gonna
not.
happen. You'll
Yep.
end up missing something super important, and then you have to go back and
Mm-hmm.
either read it or listen to it again.
Mm-hmm. Girl, when I tell you she changed the picture. She changed the picture. And everybody was like, oh my God, she's on here changing the picture. Like they was ready for that next chapter. And I'm
Yeah.
ready for it too, but I'm not hating on a girl. Take your time.
Take your
Do your
time.
thing.
This story is
Because
good, and I appreciate
it's
the fact that you
good.
taking your time with it, because a lot of times we notice that some authors will start writing, the story will be so good, but they try to push out chapters too quickly, and then the story just falls apart.
Right. It'll be like, and this happened, the end.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, I have so many questions.
Right, right.
I feel
So I
like,
appreciate it.
yeah, I feel
I
like, oh, sorry. I feel like
no,
this
go ahead.
story will be probably one of the few stories that I don't have any questions.
Right, because it's gonna tell you in a
It's gonna
whole
tell you
2 hours.
everything. Every single thing.
Well, I felt like I loved this story so much. It is really up there with Wapido for me. Like
Yeah, I
it's
get
like
that.
to me, I was in here thinking, is this better than Sweeter Than Sweet? Like I was in here thinking,
Uh,
like I feel like to me, it's better than Sweeter Than Sweet.
I th-
Well,
I
I'm just saying.
I get that
I'm
for
just saying.
you. I don't agree, but for you,
Yeah,
like I get that. But I think I just liked the kind
it's
of
the type
this.
of stories you like.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a different type of story, and I think that's why I really like Sweeter Than Sweet so much, because it's just different.
Right, you down for a gangster in the hood and
Girl,
and the whole mafia life, and I'm down for
yeah,
I love you too.
right.
Let's
I'm like,
let's
let's
go get
shoot
a
him up. Let's
coffee.
shoot him up. I want to do that.
Yeah.
You like, let's go
Now
and be in
I like some
love.
good drama. I like some good drama, but this is my type of story, and it
Yeah.
was just so good. And when I tell y'all I was in my feelings about it, it was so good. I'm serious. I listened to, and I was y'all. And I know my girl gonna be listening because she was doing my nails today, and I was telling her about this story, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm in my feelings too now." She was
Yeah.
like, "I understand your podcast now because the way you telling the story is so good." I'm
Hmm.
like, "Girl, you gotta listen to
Girl, I have been recruiting left and right.
the podcast." So the story is so good to me. Now, let me just tell y'all what I think can happen. So I think when they go back to this house, I feel like the parents low key been seeing stuff,
Yeah.
and I feel like the mama gonna say something about it.
Yup. Cause you know who
And
know they sons? Mamas.
mama, honey, and I know, and I feel like the brother gonna say something too,
Hmm.
or they gonna tell each other about how much they love each other there, or he gonna tell her, and she ain't gonna know how to react
Yeah, I
because
agree.
he at a point where he just don't care.
Yeah.
And she at the point where, I'm down for anything, but I just ain't. I care about you and what you at. Like she care about him more than she care about herself.
Right.
So I want to see where that's gonna go. Also, I feel like Kiko is gonna make an appearance
I agree with that as well.
because because she is a model from Japan.
Hmm.
And who are they working with now at the agency? Japanese models.
I actually thought that she was gonna make an appearance sooner when they
I
were,
did too.
because when they were doing the thing with when they had all those people coming down from Japan that were
hmm
for that last party. I was like, she gonna show up there, but she didn't.
hmm
So
Yeah, because whenever she keep going back to Japan, whenever her and JK got into, I'm like, good, ho, stay there. Don't come back
don't
this
come
time.
back. Please stay. If you come back, just leave this man alone. Let him
Right.
live.
Like, just secretly get with Hobie.
That's what I feel like. that was what is gonna happen. Well, I don't know if they're gonna even talk
like
about
that,
them no
like
more,
that,
but
look, like that other story.
yeah, yeah, girl,
I've loved you this whole time. Let's get married.
right? Like what? But
So yes, I love this story. I cannot wait till we do a discussion episode. And yeah,
yeah, so you guys can, we'll actually be making an announcement for that on our TikTok and our Instagram so that we can get another person to join us or another two people to join us, depending. And we'll kind of go from there. But you guys can follow us on all of our social media. It's normally like a variation of Do You Read BTS Pod. I think they're actually all Do You Read BTS Pod or podcast. If you have any recommendations, one shots, things like that, you can email us at doyoureadbts@yahoo.com. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We will see y'all next
okay.
time.
Bye.
Bye.